Hey, Restless rappers, we have Brytini Sarpy here today. Yay! So stay tuned as we talk General Hospital, Michelle Stafford, as well as Restless Rap. Stay tuned.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Hey everybody, I'm Rachel Goodman, and this is Brytini Sarpy. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so I'm really excited. I've been watching, you've had some really key roles the last couple weeks since you've been on already.
Yeah.
And so I'm excited to really dig in and talk Young and the Restless with you.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I'm having a really fun start and go with this, actually. CBS has been a fun network to work with.
Yeah. I was going to ask, that's like one of my first questions, is that, when I was looking everything up, I noticed that you obviously came from General Hospital.
Mm-hmm.
So what has that transition been like?
It's been really smooth.
Yeah.
I wish I could say there were more drama considering it's a soap, but there hasn't been. I think just having a familiar idea of how things work on a soap set.
Yeah.
And then coming to one where not only am I familiar with the lay of the land and how things kind of go down and the pacing, but also familiar with a lot of the cast. And then a lot of the crew, they watch General Hospital or have come from there. So just very familiar surroundings, even though it was a completely new place for me.
Yeah, and that's one of the great things about the soap world, I feel, is that everyone is kind of connected and
it's
so
a
many
small
people.
Little community.
Yeah, and it seems like such a very tight-knit, like friendly, family. And
Absolutely.
We were talking about Michelle Stafford when when you first came in.
Yeah, I'm so excited. It was huge news to me that she's going to be coming on board.
Yeah, and especially with everything going on with Phyllis. You said you've been watching the last, since you were brought in. And we know, Phyllis has just been going down some crazy.
Quite a path.
Yeah. And I keep wondering how, we know that she is not the original actress for Phyllis, so I'm curious how they're going to, swap.
Swap it back,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. And to me, I'm sure it's going to be seamless, but I'm very interested if they're going to just randomly, Michelle Stafford's going to be back. Yeah, here I am. Yeah.
I'm curious, too. I have no idea. Yeah, but I hear both the Phyllises are loved very much. So
yeah, and I have not seen any of the other Phyllis's scenes as Phyllis because I've only been watching the last couple of years. But she seems like a very good actress, and she's very
as Nina on GH. She kills it. She's phenomenal.
And that was going to be my next question too. So did you get the chance to work with her on General Hospital?
Yeah, we had a few shoot days together, especially for it's probably time now, nurses' ball time, when the whole cast gets together. And then I think we had a bit, she and Donnell and I, where, she was doing her magazine thing. But she's awesome to work with, and just an awesome human, and has a lot going with her skincare line, and two of the cutest kids I ever did see.
That's awesome.
Yeah, she's great. I'm really excited she's coming.
Yeah. So before we get into The Young and the Restless, what were some of your favorite moments on set at General Hospital?
All of my favorite moments are definitely with people. I'm such a, this is what I'm here for, is relationships, interactions, and, that's in every job that I do, every step that I take. That's what we're here for, And I made some really great relationships there. So I think my favorite part of being on set, being off set, were the relationships I forged.
That's
definitely.
Awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. And so now at Y&R, so I guess kind of segueing here into that, are there any differences between being on set for GH versus Y&R?
Yeah. Even the shoot schedule's a little different. At GH, we are 5 weeks on, 2 weeks off. The pace is a little bit quicker.
Yeah.
And at Y&R, it's every Monday's off, so it's a little more spread out. And you kind of feel that in the work, where you have maybe just a little more time at Y&R to do scenes, whereas GH, there's just a little more scenes per day.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. And I've heard too, I don't know how correct this is, but I've heard that at Y&R, because there's just so many lines, they don't ever really make you memorize them per se. Like you have the script there with you just in case. No, not at all.
I've never heard of that.
Really? Okay.
Maybe back in the day that was a thing. No, everyone I know is off book.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Good to know.
on both soaps. On all soaps that I know of.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Kill that. That's not true. I wish.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. So yeah, just because it's like, it sounds like it's a very like rewarding lifestyle, but also a very hectic lifestyle in the sense that every week you're handed
new material.
Yeah.
Definitely rewarding in that it's something that a lot of actors don't get, which is a regular job. There's a lot more normalcy and a continued salary with this job, which is great.
Oh yeah, I bet.
But yeah, on the other hand, soaps are 365, so it's a lot of shooting and a lot of material. But it's also just a muscle. I think soap actors don't do any less than anyone on, like, say, a primetime show or a movie set. It's just that they have stretched their muscle more, so they're able to. Our command of material is just a lot quicker.
Yeah, that makes complete sense. Do they, so be kind of going on that vein too, with the actually being on set, is it, like I know with regular film sets and television sets that aren't going 365, you could be there from 5 a.m. to 5 p.m. Is that the same thing?
Oh my gosh, yeah, it's night and day. I did New Girl, I did a guest star role on that, and it was like maybe 3 scenes that I was in, and it took the entire day, and it blew my mind because I'm so used to accomplishing maybe 60 scenes a day.
Yeah.
On a soap schedule. So it's so different. It's interesting.
So it sounds like too with like a soap, it's more like, all right, we're just gonna get through this.
Yep.
I know like on regular TV sets or film sets, it's like, let's
run
that line 50 more times until we get it to be this way.
And then when you do, like, I did this movie Truth or Dare, and I remember Cassie Skirbo, that's the actress I did that with, we had a day where we didn't start until like maybe 4 or 5 in the evening just because of the turnaround. And so we didn't end up wrapping until like 5 or 6 in the morning.
Oh my God.
And you go until it's done.
Yeah.
But with soaps, it's just so much more structured, and we're on soaps that have been around for 50 and 60 years, so there's kind of a rhythm and a pace to it, so they know what they can accomplish in one day for the most part.
Yeah.
And
I know, like, there's also a transitioning happening too with Mal Riang and the writers. Have you felt the effects of that at all too?
I think I came after the transition.
Yeah.
So I'm with the new set of everything, I think.
Yeah.
So I personally didn't feel much of the effect, but I know there have been some ripples on set.
Yeah. And you can feel too, like, there's been, like, right around, like, this, the last couple of months or so, there's been some cast changes. Yeah. And so it's been interesting. And some of the storylines too, like the big JT, I don't even want to call it a murder because obviously he's not
alive.
dead. Yeah. It's just everything going on right now. You can tell that there was kind of a shift. Yeah. And so it's been interesting. I know for a long time hosting the show, I've heard a lot of the fans saying, like, get rid of this storyline or get rid of that.
Okay, so what is your take at how it is now versus, like, is it ironing out?
It feels fresher. So,
okay, good.
Everyone, like for the JT storyline, every fan I talked to said that it was just going on way too long. And I know, like, soaps are like that. They will drag things out because that's just how soaps are. But this one, from the time, I think it was about a year, like, in actual time, not soap time, but actual, like our time.
Whoa.
They had been doing this where they had, murdered him or thought they murdered him, and then it just kept going on
and on.
Yeah, and it was just, all right, time.
But you know what it is about those? I will say this, and because the whole thing with the fans feeling like something is, like, overdone, that happens a lot, and I feel like that the same thing happened with at General Hospital with the twins. You wouldn't know, I guess, but that went on for a really long time. But I think how it ended and how, like, what the fans ended up getting out of it, it's usually a pretty big payoff.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
This was like, so it was pretty big. It was like, okay, he's still alive. Now we have, obviously Victoria going off and doing her own thing in Las Vegas, which has been really crazy. But I
New
think
sets, huh?
yeah. It's very different and very kind of nice, and like I feel like it's a fresher take. Also Devon, and this goes back to Elaine. I love Elena. Oh, I'm so sorry, Elena.
Okay.
Elena. It goes back to her and Devon because everything that happened with Hillary before she ended up before Michelle Morgan ended up leaving was that just watching her die was just very, like, it was so
sad,
heartbreaking, and it was like, okay, and we saw Devon go down a really sad path, and at one point we thought, okay, maybe he's doing drugs or drinking, and he's like, we just didn't, it wasn't ever really clarified 100%. We just knew that he wasn't doing so well,
right?
And so now that he's asking someone else out, it's just it's fresh. It's like, okay.
It's nice to see something light.
Yeah, exactly. And it's interesting too because like just seeing your character holding her mug, and just like there's certain things that obviously
the nuances.
Yeah, like he's connecting with Hillary, but your character is so different from hers too at the same time.
Really?
Yeah.
Good to know.
Yeah, like I was watching, I've been watching like 2 or 3 years, and so the Hillary character I know did some very like manipulative things,
sure,
but in the end she was a very good person. So it was kind of like I knew fans that hated her, and then fans who loved her, and then fans, like, there really wasn't a lot of people who were like meh about her because
you have a very distinct feeling about
yeah. And so with her,
she's a bad girl, right?
Yeah, she was bad, and then she kind of like was like reforming, and she just seemed like near the very end when she ended up getting pregnant and she got married to Devon, she seemed like she had her head on straight and was ready to commit and be a faithful wife. Or not, I shouldn't say it like that, be a faithful person in general and be like very good to him. But so when then she died, of course. But with Elena, I feel like she is just a very grounded character, and she just seems like it's just, to me, she isn't, maybe certain things about her, like the positive things that we saw with Hillary, I see the positive things in Elena as well, but I don't quite see her as being another Hillary at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, from what I know about Hillary and even what you just said now, I definitely think she's a different character.
Yeah.
She comes on, a little more grounded.
Yeah.
She has her own issues, but I think those are like her internal issues that she'll be working through, and I don't know if they'll reflect much onto her relationship with Devon, or friendship, whatever it's going into.
Yeah, and that's either way, like even if it only stays as a friendship, I feel like Devon didn't have anyone else in his life before her to
even
really
have someone to lean on and connect with.
Because even Anna, like, she was there, but it was just, I feel like they've always been in different places, and the dynamic just wasn't as, it wasn't like an equal dynamic. She came in and she kind of was more like, she had the sisterly, I need to help you role. And then he's like, I feel like when she's not that role for him, he's the like older brother, I need to help you role.
Looking out for her.
Yeah. But like now with Elena, I see it as being an equal partnership.
Yeah, I think from what I see, I like their energy, Devon and Elena, is really grounded. And I feel like Anna, like Lauren, that is Lauren. Like her energy is just so...
I'm not surprised.
Just so light and bubbly and airy.
Yeah.
So it feels like, I think where Devon and Elena do find this kindred likeness to each other is that there's a depth between the two of them, and like they've both been through a few things.
Yeah. And I can see it too, the way that you play the character, and just the way that she seems like she's had a hard life. So.
It's really hard, not to say that I had a hard life, but it's hard for me to take that aspect of who I am out of roles. You almost see it in every role that I play. Like there's a certain depth or sense of experience or something like that I think is kind of a nuance that I don't try to bring to characters, but that I've noticed as a through line in my characters.
So that kind of leads me into another question then. So when you're bringing when you're going into a role and you're trying to make it your own, and like especially with a soap where you're going to be playing that role for a while,
Right.
how do you differentiate it from other roles, and like what do you do differently with Y&R versus General Hospital with the different characters?
I mean, it's always different.
Yeah.
It's always going to be different simply because of who you're working with, unless I'm
Yeah.
working with the exact same cast and everything.
Yeah.
But there's so many, if you don't let other people's relationships and energy towards you influence who you are, then I
Yeah.
feel like you're not listening. You're not
Yeah.
doing the internal stuff. But as far as like my homework for it, I think a lot of it I find just through the lines, just because I mean that's really all I have to work with.
Yeah.
So it's just finding little things and understanding and meaning through the smallest of lines, even like if it's a preference in a food, that's a somewhat of a throwaway line.
Yeah.
Or if it's how she jokes around, and then I feel like those little things kind of just go on top of each other. And the great thing about doing a soap is that you really get to expand the character from the inside out. Like
Yeah.
there's so much work to be done, and you learn new things about your own character weekly through the writing.
And it like seems to, even from watching the Y&R characters I've seen for the last 3 years, they're always, I feel like they are always the same on the inside. Like there's always a core element to that character, but you still see them grow, and it's like you do, as the actor, you get the opportunity to kind of grow real time with them, is what it seems from what I can see on this end as a fan.
Yeah, absolutely. Like that's the funnest part, is making choices.
Yeah.
And from my read from her from day one has been that she has a certain strength about her.
Yeah.
And I feel like this will get a little heady, but like I lead from like my solar plexus with her, if that makes any sense.
That
Whereas
makes sense.
Valerie, if we're going back to GH, Valerie leads from her heart.
Yeah.
It's a little different. I'll just say that.
Yeah, no, that's a very interesting, way to explain it too. Like, because there is, like, that does, that to me already says that it's a huge difference.
Right.
And I think that it will definitely, I have not watched General Hospital, but I'm sure if I went back and watched Valerie, I would notice the difference too, just from the fact that the energy is coming from a different place.
Yeah, her energy was more unsure and, a little less guided, and she made mistakes off the bat. And she was in a lot of pain, whereas I think, Elena holds things very close to herself.
Yeah.
She's just a little stronger and a little more stoic and
Yeah.
a little more mature, I think.
Yeah, and that's already, like, I think the only thing for me is that when I watch a soap and I see a character who's very grounded, I instantly think, oh, what are they hiding?
So I have read about, there have been a couple of comments about that. I think she's hiding something, her and that Uncle Jet.
Especially Uncle Jet, because...
Really? What? What are you thinking?
I think, okay, so first of all, the whole thing with Anna to me has been very curious, because you never know, like, she's lied to Devon multiple times.
Right.
There's always a reason why she needs more money, and I just don't buy that she was giving the money that she was getting to her father. I mean, it makes sense, but I feel like she's in deeper trouble than what she's letting on, and we're going to find out more. Like, I feel like Anna might be the sneakiest one, but with
I mean, she does blatantly lie.
Yeah, exactly. And, like, I feel like Jet, like, my husband and I, who watched the soap together, we were both kind of thinking, well, maybe he's not really sick. Maybe he's trying to use this as an angle to, like, get his career back, and he thought this would be a new way to do it. So we're like, what is this guy up to? But I don't know. Like
so what would you say Elena is?
That's a really good question, because I can't, it's only, I'm trying, like, as a fan, I'm trying to figure this out, like, okay, well, maybe she's not even working with them, maybe she's on her own agenda, and she's got things, like, I can tell, like, there are things she has not brought up yet that she's, like, just keeping to herself, and I think that's part of it, not necessarily that she's being sneaky about it, but just that, she's a very private person. And I feel like when we find them out, it's going to be like, oh, well, this is why she didn't want to, be with anyone. This is why she didn't really want to be friends with Devon. It isn't that she feels uncomfortable about living in the place. It's that she's hiding this huge, big secret.
Well, I will say with your Elena theory, you're on to something.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Good to know. Yeah. Yeah. So that's how it comes across to me. But I feel like sometimes you can feel when characters are working together.
Mm-hmm.
And I almost feel like Anna, Jet, and Elena are working separately, and that there are things they're all hiding that are very different from each other.
Interesting.
Yeah, and that we're going to find things out piece by piece. And Devon, he's in this place where, okay, we know we can generally trust him because he's been around such a long time.
Right.
So with him, it's like, okay, well, we know that even though he's private too, he kind of, oh, am I onto something else? Okay, so let's delete everything.
We'll see.
I mean, I know the other thing I find interesting is that I had heard as like a rumor that Michelle Morgan was going to come back, not necessarily as, not necessarily back because she's still alive, but back in like a flashback sense. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if that means she's coming back to be on the show again, or if we're just going to see her briefly and then that'll be that.
Yeah, I can't answer that. But what I can say is that her presence is, like, it's not going to be, the writers didn't do this in a way where they completely dismissed that relationship, obviously. Yeah. So her presence is definitely felt very strongly in the house, especially with another female that he clearly has some type of attraction to being there. Yeah. So,
and it's interesting that it's going to be hard too, because even if, like, it's always such a hard situation when a person has a deceased spouse that they still, they probably still will always love that person, and someone new comes into their life, and it's like, okay, well, what now? Right. How do you handle that as the new the new
touchy
person?
And so sensitive.
Yeah. And so, and it's like, I see objectively that Elena is not, like, she might have some qualities similar to Hillary, but they're not, I think he's going to see her, I think he's trying to associate her with Hillary more, is what it feels like so far. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. I feel like you're going to find out the answer to that stuff very soon.
I wonder why you would say that. Yeah. So it's I'm glad that it's going in this direction. Yeah. It's very fresh. And I'm really excited to see more of Elena too.
Yeah, me too. I mean, we are definitely peeling back her layers, which is nice. I really love diving deeper into her character. Yeah. And at a really good pace.
Yeah, that makes sense. So I think it's a good time now. We take calls on the show. So yeah, I think it would be an excellent time. If anyone's listening live and you want to call in and talk to us, please give us a call. We just to clarify, it's April 7th. So if you're listening live right now, the number is 424-354-8302. Again, if you're listening live and you want to talk to us, the number is 424-354-8302. Okay, we have some questions for you in the chat, too.
Go for it.
So, okay, Doolin wants to know if you're from upstate New York.
Elena?
I think he means you personally, but you can answer either way.
Okay, well, Elena's from Milwaukee. And Brytini is from here, Southern California.
Awesome.
I wonder where this upstate New York came from, though. Do I seem like I'm from upstate New York?
I think he was asking for Elena, because he followed that up by saying they never said, but apparently
they did say.
Yeah, apparently, yeah, I guess they did.
The last episode I was in, it was said, which was last Wednesday, I think. But Milwaukee.
That makes sense. And Doolin also says, wow, this is cool. I miss her on General Hospital already.
Oh, I miss you too.
Erin, she's from General Hospital? I didn't know. Oh, my soaps, her character is so different. They're saying, yes, she played Valerie on General Hospital, Lulu's cousin. As I'm kind of reading through this, I think your mom's in here. Mel Sarpy, love my daughter.
That's my dad.
Oh, your dad. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, hey,
your
Dad.
Sorry, I assume Melanie.
No, Mel from
Sorry.
Melvin. Shout outs to Dad.
Let's see if we have any other comments here. Hubby Joe, hashtag everyone against Devon.
Why?
Hubby Joe, would you like to answer that question?
Why is everyone against Devon?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not, but
I'm not.
And oh, okay, cool. So yeah, I think that's Aaron Brody, Elena got secrets. He knows.
She might have a few.
Yeah.
You might find out a few soon. Who knows?
So what's been so far? So I know, I guess my next question is, so I think it's been 2 or 3 weeks that the episodes that Elena's been on have actually aired.
Yeah.
So in the world of soaps, how long have you actually been filming?
I've been filming since Valentine's Day.
Cool.
That was my first day. I will not forget.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what so far? So that's, a couple months at this point. What has been, I know I asked this with General Hospital.
Yeah.
What's been your favorite moment on the Y&R set?
I think the group scenes. We just did a set of group scenes recently that'll be airing soon. And just being able to work with everyone. It was just really nice to be around everyone's energy. And, in group scenes, it's not a lot of back and forth dialogue, so it's not just dialogue. It's kind of fun.
Off. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like equatable to what I call the nurses' ball at General Hospital, where everyone's kind of around.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's been nice to just get a feel for the energy, learn names, know everyone.
Yeah.
That's been the best part.
And who are some of your favorite people to work with?
I love Brighton. He's
Yeah.
great. Definitely him, and obviously he's the person I work with the most.
Yeah, yeah.
But then Lauren is great too.
Yeah.
Everyone's really great, actually.
That's all. Yeah, yeah. Not the single.
There's not a person that I don't like.
Yeah. And it's
Gilbert's great.
Yeah.
He's my uncle.
Yeah. That's it's cool to hear about that when you can work on a set and it's just a really generally positive energy and that it's
it honestly is. I'm not even just saying that because I feel I should, which I should. No, everyone is genuinely really cool and really awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So someone has a question for you, and I don't know. Okay, Kenneth Clark. He has 2 questions. Is Victor Newman scary? I think he means.
He's definitely a presence.
Eric Braden.
Yeah, he's got that interesting je ne sais quoi, very.
Yeah.
He's a presence.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't use the word scary. I think he borders on intimidating. But I'm a type A personality, so I don't get intimidated very easily. But I could see how a lot of people would feel that way. But he's a great person.
Do you get, even with people like him who I don't know if you've had any scenes with him, since, filming, but assuming that you haven't, even people like him who you're not actually in a scene with, do you get to see the other cast members when you're on set?
Yeah, because, they shoot all the scenes in the same day. So if you happen to be there on a day where certain people are there, you get to meet everyone, especially in the hair and makeup chairs. Those are good places to see people.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I guess my next question is kind of okay, so TV, regular TV and film, obviously they don't shoot scenes in order. Is it the same situation with a soap? And does that kind of, for you when you watch it back, is it kind of oh, that's how they played that out?
We get the whole script, so I know the order.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen that often that, as far as my scenes go, they're usually in a sequential order.
Yeah.
But even last week, they were out of order, it was kind of a, I would have wished they were in order for this particular scene that I shot. But it doesn't happen that often that you're not able to do your storyline in order.
Yeah. Does it ever feel kind of off then that you have to hit an emotional beat first that isn't yet caused by something that hasn't happened?
Well, like in
that's
the example I was giving,
Yeah.
which I was talking about something that hadn't happened yet because we hadn't filmed it yet.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But that's okay. 'Cause,
Yeah.
that's the whole world of acting. But
Yeah.
it would have been nice to have shot everything in order, but it doesn't always happen that way.
Yeah, and I'm sure, like, so as, being in that moment then, I'm sure, like, what do you do? I guess you still have to find...
You talk about it.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
like, the scene I'm talking about is with Brighton, and we just talked about it, like, what we think will happen when we shoot the actual scene, and,
Yeah.
And then we do our best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Let's see. Rainy J just complimented your father. Wow, Mel, you look young enough to be her bro.
My dad, for all you single ladies out there, is single. He's a very handsome man.
Oh, here we go. So we have a couple other comments. Mel Sarpy, your dad would like to know, is he right? Is there more of a serious interest in real life other than the show ID Tech Chemistry?
What? Is who right?
Good question. I'm not sure.
With Brighton?
I think so.
My dad has been saying since he watched the show, I'll let you guys all know this, that there's such a great chemistry between Brighton and I that he thinks it transcends the camera.
Oh.
So, it's TV, Dad. No, but again, Brighton is amazing.
Yeah.
He's a great guy.
He seems like a very great guy.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes you can just tell when you're watching that certain people are just very, like, genuine beyond the scope of their character.
Exactly, and he's so easy to relate to. We do have a great chemistry.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So that's what we had for the comments. Okay. Rainy J says, do people think you look like Maya?
Yeah, I used to get that a lot. When Maya was more on the scene, and I was younger. But so yes, I guess I used to get that. Yeah, I think we have the same bottom lip and skin color.
And here we go too. So Kenneth Clark says, "Hi Brytini, how did it feel to be playing Luke and Laura's niece and being part of the Spencer fam?"
Man, it was epic. Going back to GH, no, Tony Geary is a force to work with. He is an amazing man, and he has a theater background, so he and I got along very well on our first day shooting together. We had like an understanding with each other. And Jeannie is awesome too. I more recently got to work with her. She wasn't a part of that first grouping of storyline, but she's on the scene now, so I've just now gotten to know her like in the past year when I was on the show. It's still hard to put it in past tense because it's all pretty recent. Yeah,
it feels like it just went from...
It did.
Yeah.
I think my last air days were like a week before my first air days.
Got it.
So.
Yeah. And so you said you've been watching the show too. What are your favorite storylines going on right now?
I mean, I like my storyline.
Of course, your storyline's awesome though.
Oh my gosh, that wedding storyline is nuts.
Oh, Summer and...
Yeah, they're killing it.
Yeah, and I saw the previews for next week, so it's like...
What's in the previews?
The preview, it's where Lola is sitting, I guess, at the club with Kyle, and she's like, let's go get a room.
Oh, right. They have like a love scene coming, right?
Yeah, and it's like, first of all,
yeah,
Summer,
Sasha.
yeah. I mean, the acting is brilliant.
Yeah.
But it's like, this is like, as a viewer fan, like, watching this, I'm like, oh my god, like Summer, you should have known, but at the same time, it's like,
I feel bad.
I feel bad for her because she's being genuine with him right now. Who's to say, like, if he turned around and acted like he loved her, or if he was like head over heels in love with her, like he kind of was acting before, it would probably be her like, oh, okay, well, I have the upper hand now, I don't care about him. So, but I don't know.
Isn't that the way it always works, though?
Yeah. There's always one.
Right.
Yeah. But the whole thing.
But no, I mean, I'm most excited about my storyline.
Yeah.
Of course. Because, I mean, it's cool. No. There's some fun stuff coming and, a lot of singing.
Singing? Oh, yeah. Cool.
Not on my part.
I was wondering. Yeah, I was going to ask. And I saw too, when I was looking up everything that you had done, I noticed that you also have a dancing background as well.
That I do.
Does that come into play, or do you expect it might come into play at some point?
It could. They did ask me about it before I booked it, though. Just about my background, but I don't know. It could.
Yeah, I mean, it's like it's in the right storyline since they're doing music, and like, because what I was sensing too, now that Fenn's gone, like at first I kind of saw Anna and Fenn as being like a duet, and now I'm like, okay, well, Elena, like, even though she hasn't mentioned, like, she's, more, like, she hasn't mentioned it yet, but I'm almost expecting that she's going to end up being involved in the music industry somehow.
It could be.
Yeah.
I mean, doctor turned entertainer.
Hey, you never know.
You never know.
It's
Crazier
Genoa
things
City.
have happened.
Yeah, exactly. So instantly when I read that about the dancing background, I was like, oh, maybe they'll do something with that. That's cool.
I mean, I hope so. Performance-based stuff is always fun. I've now brought it up a third time, sorry, but GH and Nurses Ball was always like the funnest part for me because I got to dance.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Do you, you mentioned kind of missing it. Are there other things that you do like on the side to keep up with the dancing and so that you always have that outlet?
Actually, I've been really getting into yoga.
I love yoga.
Yeah.
Yoga's amazing.
Yeah, I'm low-key like a yogi novice.
That's awesome.
It's been my savings grace, honestly. It's kept me in peace, and I had actually not wanted to try yoga at all because I was a dancer.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, I don't want to do something where I'm holding poses. I want to move. I want things to be fluid.
Yeah.
Little did I know there's yoga flow.
Yeah.
Vinyasa.
Yeah.
But yeah, since I've actually gotten into it and really fell in love with the art and the practice, that's what I've been really doing actively.
I never even expected this either because I had not really been into yoga.
You don't see it coming.
Yeah, like I love Zumba, so it's but like
dance,
yoga, it's like
it's a whole other thing.
Yeah,
it's a mental, solistic, athletic, meditative. Yes, all of the. If you don't do yoga, do yoga.
Yeah.
If you're able, I recommend it highly.
Yeah, that's awesome though.
Yeah.
But there's nothing, it's like with yoga too, I'm sure when there are stressful moments on set or just in general being in the industry, I'm sure that it's helped a lot.
Yeah, sweat it out on the mat.
Yeah.
And you know how it helps is yoga's not easy.
Yeah.
Like by any standard. It's incredibly hard, and it's essentially understanding your body and understanding what you're capable of, and what you do on the mat is it's indicative of how your life goes. The things you have problems with, the fears that you have with, maybe going upside down or, inversions. Those are the same fears that translate to like what you're dealing with in life. So being able to work them out on the mat, it's helped me a lot.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Thanks for calling in. We have a caller on the line. Who's on the line?
Hey, Rachel. Hey, Brytini. This is Jamel from Brooklyn.
Hey,
Jamel. Thanks for calling in.
Yeah.
So, did you have any? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say what you was going to say.
Oh no! After you, I was just going to ask if you had any questions for Brytini or anything you wanted to talk about.
Well, I do. I mean, first off, it's such a pleasure to be able to call in right now. I just got in from going to church and everything, so I got a chance to call in.
Awesome.
And Yeah. And so, you know what, I wanted to ask Brytini, how's that is she to be working in the sort of Winters clan? Because we got Lily coming out of jail, we got Kane and them having issues, we got all that stuff going on. Plus, I guess the big thing that everybody's still remembering is the fact that Neil Winters, how they're going to deal with that. So there's a lot of stuff going on specifically in that part of the show. And so I want to know how, excited you are to be a part of all this, all this story.
I mean, it's a cool clan that I'm jumping into, and I think, helping to carry that torch and being a part of that kind of family is really, really exciting. I like the storyline that's been written, considering all these different elements that have happened in the circumstances, and I think it's going to make for some really poignant TV. Yeah.
Wow. Well, you know what? I love General Hospital too. I haven't been able to keep up with it, but I remember when you first got up, and I'm sorry, I forget the woman that played Lulu.
Mm-hmm.
I used to watch her on on kind of like in you all's chemistry.
Yeah.
And also the guy, the first storyline was fantastic, but also when you were discovering other part of yourself, the other character, I thought you just did a wonderful job. And I love
Thank
Jackie
you.
Zeman, so anybody who gets to play with her is like, oh.
Who is it that you loved? I missed it.
What's that?
I didn't hear you. Who did you love?
Oh, I was saying that anybody who gets to have scenes with Jackie Zeman.
Oh, my
because
gosh.
my mother,
Jackie is
Yeah,
my
my mother's-
heart.
yeah, and so when your character was like a little scandalous, and then Jackie Zeman character years ago was scandalous, and when you had those connecting scenes was great. She's like, oh,
Yeah.
she's a real spinster. I was like, oh, okay, so it was.
Yeah.
I mean, it was wonderful, but I know how how you bring it, and it just all the things you've done with General Hospital. So I'm excited to see that
Thank
with
you.
the yeah, with everything that's happening with the winter specifically, I'm very excited to see that new energy and
Yeah, it's
I
a
wanna
lot
see
of new
you-
energy coming in. I mean, we've got,
Oh.
because, I mean, Anna's character is pretty new as well.
Yeah, she's been maybe like a couple months.
Yeah, so that's a lot of new energy.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think it's
Yeah, I
going to
think
be
it-
exciting.
I think that the Winter family has wonderful divas. I said that way. We got Lily, we got you, and we got Anna. So it's going to be really
Yes.
good to see you all. The three ladies right there be playing around, and it's going to be really interesting. I'm just, and also Michelle Stafford coming over. So I mean,
Woo!
Yeah, I'm excited for
Yeah.
that.
yeah. So that's going to be interesting and all that. But anyway, I'm glad I got a chance to call in, and
Yeah,
I'm
thanks
very
for calling
excited.
in.
I'm really very excited about the Winters and all the ladies, and I love all of them. So I'm just very excited about that.
Awesome. Thank
Cool,
you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, have a great week.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Awesome. And we have a couple comments in the chat, too.
Uh-oh,
Yeah.
that chat.
Yeah. So, okay, let's see. Actually, a couple people are talking about Victoria.
Okay.
And the new guy who, yeah. So, I don't know if you've gotten a chance to see that storyline as well with Victoria in Las
Not much of
Vegas.
it.
Yeah, basically there was a dude that she met in a band
Okay.
and she ended up sleeping with him.
Oh.
Yeah, so there's all of that going on, and
Okay.
like the whole JT thing, we don't even know if he's going to be back at this point because he's alive, and we know he's going to be in jail. So just
This story has segued.
this story has like jumped ship
Ooh.
because it was
Wait,
like.
so what's the general consensus on all of this?
Well, okay, so Aaron Brody says Brandon is a lush. I can't believe Victoria slept with him. Rainy J, I know, right? Aaron then kissed Billy. # too much. Oh, I know, right, Aaron. Yeah, then kissed Billy. Got it. I read that the wrong way. Oh, my soap says Billy lacks chemistry. And then Aaron, Billy, and Victoria again. Boring.
Yikes. You guys are brutal.
Yeah, so there's definitely some opinions on Billy, as they're calling it. But one of the things we do on the show, we always we'll jump into the funniest moments of this week. We call it our law moment.
Okay.
So we
Do you
actually
guys hear that?
So, one of the things I wanted to ask you too, if you found any moment funny this week, or like, even if you didn't laugh out loud funny, if you found any moment like extra soapy or like kind of amusing.
Like in life or on set or
Oh, either way.
on the soap?
It could be either on the soap, like being on set, or from watching it at home.
I don't know. Wait, you go first.
Yeah, sure. So I had a couple. I laughed when Nick. Okay, so the whole Ray and Sharon storyline.
Yeah.
When after they had sex, I think it was the first or second time, Nick showed up. And my husband and I both groaned. Like, ugh. It was so like, it was funny because it was so typical. Nick just
Of
shows up
course.
and like, it's like Ray opening the door. He's putting his shirt back on. And there's Nick. So
Ooh.
yeah. And then also, I really thought it was funny when we had Phyllis sitting down with Michael. And this is another Nick thing again. Nick showed up. and he was with I forget her name, but the woman who like his business partner, or not a business partner, but like the woman that Phyllis basically pimped him out to.
Okay.
And now they're kind of dating again, and so Nick was there with her, and Phyllis was already at the club with Michael, and she's about to get up and like go after and like talk to them, and like you know, she's all like, I'm gonna go say something to them, and, like she said it like 5 times, and then Michael's like, oh no, because I'm gonna go in your path if you do that. And I just thought, wow, typical Michael. Yeah, so those were the things
those
I
are
kind
your
of
LOLs.
yeah, those are my LOLs. And sometimes people in the chat mention it too, but not this week. Yeah, that's well, just that Aaron's saying Billy is a hot mess. Oh, my soaps, Rebecca. That's her name, the woman that Nick was with.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah.
I don't. Okay, do I have any?
Yeah, and if you don't,
I
it's
got
fine.
laughed at this week on
Really?
set.
What happened?
Because I have a dimple. I don't remember where it is, but they made a joke of it. This is all Lauren's fault. And they kept pointing out my dimple.
Aw.
Wasn't that funny, but I got laughed at.
Aw.
That's all I can remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, my last question for you before we wrap up is
Okay.
if you could name 2 things, so kind of a couple questions. One, the most influential people in your life who have led to this moment, and then 2, the most influential things that have happened to you to lead up to this.
Ooh. Kind of all serious on me there.
Hit you with the heavy questions at the
Ooh.
end.
The most influential people, definitely the top of my list is my dad. I got a lot of who I am from my dad, not just because he's in the chat. I would have said this either way.
I keep looking to see if he's responded to this.
No, but definitely him. He gave me a lot of my structuring and who I am. And then influential people that like I don't necessarily know, but I've like watched their careers and tried to mirror mine after are like Meryl Streep and Angelina Jolie. Meryl Streep just has obviously an incredible career. I don't need I say more.
Yeah.
And she's goals.
Yeah.
And then just Angelina, just because of how she balances her career with her humanitarian work, and that's something that I strive to do and I work towards doing. What was the second part of your question?
The most influential like thing.
Moments?
Yeah, or moments. Yeah.
Pivotal moments for me. I think college was a big moment, but that was a good growing moment for me. I think I grew the most in those 4 years than I had in my entire life. I learned a lot about who I was and who I wanted to be, and I don't know, I came out of college outside of like the scholastic part of it. Even I got a Bachelor of Fine Arts in acting, so it was really performance based anyway. But outside of all that, I learned a lot about me, and I think I graduated into the startings of the human that I am now, which is cool. Other like pivotal moments for me are just introductions into new things and just kind of finding myself, like learning about Deepak Chopra, and like that was a big moment for me, just having my eyes open to what he teaches and meditation and things like that. Just things that have kind of restructured how I look at things and how I handle life and its trauma.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for sharing that, and thank you for
Thanks.
being on the show.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Where can everyone find you, Brytini?
You can find me on Instagram at Brytini, and that's at BRYTNI, or on Twitter at _Brytini, and that's _BRYTNI.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And thank you, everyone, for joining.
Yeah.
I'm Rachel Goodman. You can find me on Instagram or Twitter at Rach Goodman. We will see you next week, same time, same place. Until then, have a wonderful week.
Peace.
Our founder, Kevin Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.